Thank you to the Office of Civil Rights for organizing today's event, and to all the employee affinity groups, or the EAGs, for participating in today's recruitment fair. The Department of State is committed to increasing diversity and fostering a culture of inclusion where people feel welcome, heard, and confident in their contribution to our mission to advance U.S. foreign policy and national security. Promoting diversity and inclusion is an important enterprise-wide effort requiring engagement at every level. Employee affinity groups are essential to embedding a culture that celebrates and values the richness of our nation in all respects of our global institution. What has really come across to me in my meetings and discussions with the affinity group leaders and department colleagues at all stages of their careers is how each and every engagement has started from a place of pride and appreciation for our State Department and our diplomatic mission. It is from this premise that you and your colleagues have shared with me experiences and constructive ideas to improve our institution. It's in that same spirit that I'm delighted to have the opportunity to encourage you to be active participants in the department's many employee affinity groups so that your ideas are integrated into how we build and shape this organization that we all care deeply about. The Secretary asked me to focus on people in the institution when I was confirmed to serve as the Deputy Secretary of State 10 months ago. Work was well underway at that stage on a multi-year diversity and inclusion strategic plan. Your groups have played a key role in developing that plan, which fundamentally is about making progress on a vision to further embrace diversity and foster inclusion at the department. I encourage you to be active participants in this vision as we move forward to execute the strategic plans, actionable milestones, and measurable performance indicators that will focus the department's efforts and ensure accountability. I also hope that you will join recruitment and hiring committees, promotion panels, and award committees to ensure your voices are heard in these important deliberations about leadership and excellence. If you're not already a member of an employee affinity group, I strongly encourage you to consider joining one of these outstanding organizations. Thank you all for participating in today's event and for your continued efforts to strengthen and improve our Department of State.
Hi, my name is Andrea Cillier from the Office of Civil Rights. The department currently recognizes 16 employee affinity groups with varied interest and affinity who all share the mission of providing a shared network to increase education, transparency, and communication between employees and department leadership to advance the department's diversity and inclusion goals. Today, we will hear from each group and learn more about their accomplishments and collective action. We welcome all employees to join the Employee Affinity Group community.
Hi, I'm Angie Saber, and I'm the Secretary at AFA. Arab Americans in Foreign Affairs Agencies, AFA, is an employee-based organization concerned with the promotion, protection, and utilization of the cultural, linguistic, personal, and professional assets members bring in service to the federal government and the American people. As with other ethnic and minority-based employee associations, AFA serves as a resource of relevant ideas and experiences that can be shared among Arab American communities and those with an interest or experience in the Arab world throughout the interagency community. Our objectives are to promote representation of Arab Americans at all levels of management and policy positions in the interagency community, to advise the Secretary of State, U.S. Aid Administrator, and deputized officials on diversity and inclusion policy, to participate in recruitment efforts and assist in fostering workplace diversity and inclusion, and to engage in outreach activities designed to advance educational mentorship, scholarship, and partnership programs with relevant organizations and institutions. Next slide. So some of AFA's accomplishments in the last year, we were able to expand our membership to include a broader and more inclusive base as we celebrate our 6 years as an organization. We had editorial features in Arab America and State Magazine. AFA was able to grow our board in order to reflect a growing membership and ability to engage and coordinate with the EAG community on diversity and inclusion issues. And we were even able to host professional networking, cultural, and social events featuring live traditional music and regional cuisine that were open to members and guests throughout the foreign affairs community. Next slide. A lot of the non-Arab American communities in the US government have an affinity for Middle Eastern and/or North African culture, cuisine, and language. We hope to encourage those employees that while it's enjoyable to enjoy these aspects of the culture, an important part of that appreciation is to lift those diverse voices in the Arab community, along with all diverse voices to increase the strength of the United States. Next slide. To join AFA, please contact AFA board members at state.gov or find us on Facebook at Arab Americans in Government. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ann Dandridge, and I serve on the AFA Executive Board. The Asian American Foreign Affairs Association is a diverse community of foreign service and civil service employees, contractors, interns, and retirees. Our mission is to improve recruitment, outreach, and professional development for Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders at the U.S. Department of State. Our membership is open to all. AFA was started in 1981, and today we're nearly 1,000 members strong. We encourage active engagement for our members. How active is completely up to you. You can propose and lead new initiatives, volunteer at events, and stay informed through our monthly newsletter. We focus on 3 pillars. Next slide. Professional development, advocacy, and community and culture. In support of your professional development, AFA hosts networking and outreach events, often in partnership with the other great employee affinity groups you see here today. We promote leadership development for our members throughout your career, from our interns to our senior leaders. Next slide. On advocacy, AFA is committed to working in partnership with other employee affinity groups across the department on diversity inclusion challenges that impact our entire workforce, and to unpack specific challenges Asian American and Pacific Islander colleagues face. We advocate for a State Department that will reflect, including at senior levels, the full diversity of Americans. AFA has worked to improve the transparency of the department's assignment restriction policy. This is in response to concerns of our members, many of whom offer critical language skills that we need out in the field, that the assignment restrictions may disproportionately affect Asian American employees. We want the department to fully deploy our most valuable resource, our people. If you have concerns about an assignment restriction on your security clearance, please feel free to reach out to AFA for resources or help in navigating this process. Next slide. Finally, AFA celebrates community and culture with events in honor of Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month each May, an annual AFA leadership event, and our holiday parties are great. AFA is here to serve as a resource for you at the department and our missions around the world. All you need to do to become an AFA member is to join our listserv. Email afa@state.gov. I found AFA to be a wonderfully supportive group of people, and we look forward to getting to know you.
Good morning. Blacks in Government Cultivo Chapter is part of a nonprofit national organization with over 200 chapters. The Cultivo chapter was established in 2001 here in Washington, D.C., and we're divided in part of 11 regions. Our mission and objectives involve employee support, advocacy, and resource group, focusing on African American issues across the government, federal, local, and state. And we promote well-being for all African Americans in the federal government. Next slide. Some of the Blacks in Government accomplishments include being involved in a youth oratorical competition that we sponsor for high school students, professional development series and workshops, hosting an E.J. Montgomery Scholarship Program for high school students going to college or technical locations, a Black History Month program that we do every February, being a part of the Historically Black Colleges and Universities Foreign Policy Forum, and most importantly, our new Cultivo on Leadership program entitled the Emerging Leaders Program. Next slide. It's so important that we connect with our colleagues across the Department of State in promoting opportunities and advocating for professionals of color. It's critical, and one of our main focuses is leadership development, ensuring that we stay involved in community outreach, and partnering with other organizations such as TLG and PREFR, the Pickering Rangel Fellows Association. It's so easy to join. Next slide. Our organization. All you have to do is just submit your name and your interest to bigctr@state.gov, and we would love to have you participate in our conversations, help drive the issues that are important to people of color, and be a leader. Think big and do big. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Naib Khan, and I serve as the president for the EAG, the Council for Career Enhancement and Professionalization. And I hope to welcome each and every one of you in the coming years to join our CCEP EAG. A little bit more about us and what our EAG strives to do. We hope to serve as the premier one-stop shop for career advice and guidance as an employee affinity group, providing all of you, our future members, with the right connections, creating and connecting members to the right opportunities, and also helping our members to further develop upon and build their professional development skills, whether it's through helping you navigate through student, entry, or mid-level career decisions, or questions of how to. We want to be your one-stop shop and your resource to help guide you through questions as they come up and as you progress through your career department. With that, some of our mission and objectives include, but are not limited to, as I mentioned, professional development, assisting with career navigation, diversity and inclusion advocacy efforts. Mentoring definitely is a hallmark and earmark of our EAG. We want to provide you with an abundance of career opportunities and networking. Next slide. In addition to some highlights for you and for your awareness, CCEP accomplishments that are till date our EAG has been able to achieve. Our annual intern to FTE full-time employment event. In the past, we were this fall featured in State Magazine on an article dealing with diversity and inclusion efforts. In the past, we've done speed mentoring efforts and have contributed to D&I, or diversity and inclusion efforts. Next slide. To learn more about us and the great work we get to do and serve you at CCEP, please contact us at ccep@state.gov. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Heather Pishko, and I am the chair of the Disability Action Group. Our mission is to advocate for the full and equal participation of department employees with disabilities. We also provide a platform for issues, among which are career enhancement, accommodation, and inclusion. For example, we've been encouraging HR to instruct foreign service promotion panels not to overemphasize a diversity of assignments, as this may disadvantage those of us who are barred by med from serving in hardship posts. Next slide. Our most impressive accomplishment recently was meeting with the House Foreign Affairs Subcommittee for Oversight and Investigations and alerting them to the problem of gap memos being removed from the EER process. Coincidentally, a mere 2 weeks after this meeting, the department released a cable in which the gap memo was reinstated. Now we are working with this committee to draft an amendment to the Foreign Service Act of 1980, which requires that this memo remains available by law. Next slide. Among the EAG community, we ensure that the department embodies a culture that values a dynamic and inclusive workforce, offering all state employees opportunities for advancement, retention, and promotion. Next slide. If you would like to join DAG, please visit our SharePoint site and click on the membership button. You can find the site through a quick search in Diplopedia or take note of what you see on the screen now. We welcome anyone who is interested in helping to increase our visibility, as we are often overlooked during conversations regarding diversity and inclusion, especially in the Foreign Service. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello to all. My name is Lisa Petzold, and I am here representing Executive Women at State as a mid-level board member. Executive Women at State, or EW@S, is a Department of State recognized employee affinity group that brings together senior executive level career personnel with the next generation of potential leaders. Our vision is gender parity in both numbers and roles for women at senior levels in the department, with goals to promote, support, and mentor women for advancement through all ranks and promotion to senior leadership positions, as well as to identify and overcome barriers for advancement and retention of career women at the department. We have both a listserv and a team site where you can learn more about our group and get involved. Our subcommittees focus on issues, programming, communications, and mentorship. Board members chair the committees, but we welcome members to join our committees regardless of where you are assigned or your hiring authority. Next slide, please. In the past several years, we have been a leading voice behind bringing unconscious bias training to the department. We established EER, awards, and bidding mentorship programs, pushed bureaus to release data on gender in hiring and bidding, and continue to serve as advocates for career women to department leadership, lobbying and speaking out on issues important to our members. Next slide, please. We work closely with SOCR and other employee affinity groups. Next slide, please. Membership is open to all, regardless of gender or hiring authority, and we do not have dues. If you're interested in becoming a member, please find us on Teams and join our listserv. Thanks very much, and we look forward to welcoming new members to Executive Women at State.
Hi, I'm Jeff with the board of GLIFA. GLIFA is an employee affinity group representing lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and other sexual and gender minorities at the State Department and other foreign affairs agencies. We've been around about 30 years, and now we have approximately 1,000 members, which come from the Foreign and Civil Service, local employees overseas, and also family members. And over these last 3 decades, we've worked with the department to end discrimination against LGBT employees concerning security clearances, to achieve benefits for partners and then later same-sex spouses of employees, and then also to ensure that our embassies around the world and also in the department are creating an environment of equality for LGBT employees and family members, while at the same time serving as a beacon of support for LGBT individuals and communities around the globe. Next slide, please. We still have a lot of work to do. And in 2020, among our top goals are strengthening the organization. And by strengthening GLIFA, we mean largely to make GLIFA a more diverse and inclusive organization that represents the interests of all gender and sexual minorities within the State Department of Foreign Affairs community. And then also working with other employee affinity groups to help the department's broader efforts to make the department more inclusive and diverse. Another top priority is accreditation, and that's making sure that same-sex spouses of employees can serve safely and with dignity overseas by receiving diplomatic visas and diplomatic protections in countries around the world. And also an important goal for this next year, an ongoing goal, is concerning trans employees and family members, working with the department to clarify policies and procedures that affect our trans colleagues and their family members. Next slide, please. So please, if you're interested in learning more about GLIFA, please turn to the next slide. If you're interested in learning more about GLIFA, please check out our website, check out glypha.org, our Facebook pages, and also we have a Pride exhibit on the National Museum for American Diplomacy, an online exhibit that you can learn more about the history of GLIFA over these last 3 decades. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Logan Krusak, and I am the Vice President for Engagement at GRACE. GRACE is one of the State Department's newest employee affinity groups and represents the first faith-based EAG at the department. GRACE's mission is to promote a culture at the department that embraces the ability of employees to manifest religious belief generally and Christianity specifically in the workplace. GRACE seeks to connect department employees that share this vision to advocate for religious freedom and religious expression for everyone within the department, and to highlight the value added by the perspectives of people of faith to the department and its mission. We also create mentorship opportunities for our members, provide support to colleagues in need, and encourage philanthropic activity. Next slide, please. So here are a few of the recent GRACE activities that we've completed in the past couple years. We hold weekly lunch fellowships. We invite outside speakers and sponsor film screenings, among other activities. Next slide, please. So GRACE's membership is open to all department employees, contractors, and LES, whether you're posted here in Washington or overseas. GRACE welcomes people from non-Christian faith traditions as well as those with no religious faith background. Since being approved in September 2018, GRACE has welcomed around 200 new members. All that is required for membership is sending an email to the steering committee asking to join our email distribution list. We also have a Teams page and a SharePoint page. So we hope you will join us at a future GRACE event, and we welcome you to be part of our group. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Greg Pardo, and I'm the president of the Hispanic Employee Council of Foreign Affairs Agencies, or better known as HECFA. As one of the department's official employee affinity groups and also a registered nonprofit, since 1982, we have continued to work on the great work of our predecessors in the recruitment, retention, and advancement of Hispanics and Latinx at the department, and in building a diverse and inclusive workforce at all levels. Next slide, please. We have hosted career panels that highlight our mid and senior level officers to create new mentoring opportunities for our members, and also hosted professional development sessions to help our members navigate the careers and identify the department's resources. We have also used identified opportunities for our members to volunteer and speak to Hispanic and Latinx students, not just in the DC area, but virtually, so we can talk to them and expose them to careers in foreign affairs. And we have also, next slide, please. We have also worked with the department to share our stories during Hispanic Heritage Month and heard from a few Hispanic and Latinx ambassadors about their personal journeys to the top. And again, it's to help expose our members to, how they can get to the top. In the past year, we've seen the power of working together. And together with the other EAGs, we worked on a joint Hill briefing. We've also met with senior department leadership, and obviously making sure that we are in sync with the department's recruitment, retention, and promotion needs. And this includes, again, creating opportunities for our members to speak to students and to, whether they're in high school, college, or graduate school, about careers in the department, whether they want to be civil service specialist, foreign service officer, or contractor. Next slide, please. The HECFA board is open to all, and you do not have to be Hispanic or Latinx to join. In fact, we're always looking for allies and mentors and sponsors. While we're very proud of our work, we know that we still have a long way to go. While Hispanics make up 18% of the US population, we only make up around 7% of the department's workforce. And when you break that down to foreign service and civil service, that percentage number gets smaller. And so that's why we're always looking for volunteers out there to help us on reaching out to Hispanic and Latinx students, serving as a mentor, sponsor for our members, sharing your story with our members. If you're a senior executive, you're a part of the senior executive service or senior foreign service, to help our members navigate their careers. To join our organization, all you have to do is contact HECFA board 2@state.gov. Or you can also visit our website at www.hecfa.org. We have voluntary dues, and I want to emphasize voluntary. But if you do provide your dues, you're able to vote for the executive board elections, and you also contribute to a fund that we use to provide a small stipend to unpaid interns, every summer. So again, email us. We would like for you to join us. Do follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sherry Clark. I'm the president of the Native American Foreign Affairs Council. Our mission is to enhance awareness of the contributions of Native American employees to the State Department, as well as to U.S. foreign affairs more generally. We seek to assist in recruitment, retention, and promotion of Native Americans, as well as professional development, in particular developing leadership abilities. NAFAC employees seek to honor and raise awareness of our cultural heritage and enhance the contributions of Native Americans. In our case also, we specifically want to serve as a resource to do outreach to Indigenous communities and societies, both domestically and abroad. Next slide, please. Some of our accomplishments. We have been recognized as an employee organization since 2014. We were just this year recognized as an employee affinity group and are very happy to join the community of employee affinity groups. We have celebrated Native American Heritage Month and held other events through the years. We tend to focus our events on issues of interest to the foreign policy community, as well as to Native Americans, employees. And so those include, for example, at the top of your screen here, we invited the first Native American ambassador to the United Nations Human Rights Council, Ambassador Keith Harper, to speak to our group. We've also partnered with other groups. We think that's actually very important that we partner with all of these other excellent employee affinity groups. We partnered with GLIFA for the Pride event last year, for example, and this featured Kansas Representative Sharice Davids. We very much enjoyed that event. We're looking for partnerships with other employee affinity groups. I'm just putting a shout out, so please join us. Our other events tend to focus on things, for example, the foreign sales of sacred cultural heritage abroad. For example, in Paris art markets, they're selling sacred Native American cultural heritage. We've had events focusing on the representation and stereotypes of Native Americans in mass media, and issues such as Native Americans' tribal sovereignty and the impact of that on US diplomacy. We work with our diplomats in residence. We try to support them and work with them in any way to enhance their recruiting efforts around the United States. We also have worked and continue to, happily work with human resources in their recruiting efforts, whatever we can do to support. For example, some of our members attend and help with recruiting efforts at the annual Society for American Indian Employee conference and training event. Next slide, please. So our role among the employee affinity group community is that we are frankly filling a gap in the community. We feel that and hope that everyone else feels that we are able to make this community even more robust by adding Native American voices and perspectives to this group, to the dialogue and to the network. And we absolutely think this is a mutual benefit both to the employee affinity group community as well as to our Native American employees. Next slide, please. So, as with many of the other groups, you do not have to be or identify as Native American to join our group. We're happy to have anyone and everyone who's interested. We do have among our membership now some folks who work on things like cultural heritage in ECA, any interest in the culture, heritage, or foreign affairs issues that we're addressing, we are happy to have you. So please feel free to reach out to us for more information, or if you'd like to join, at nafac@state.gov. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Joya Starks, and I serve as the Networking Chair for the Pickering and Rangel Fellows Association, or PERFA. Established in 2010, PERFA represents a cadre of diverse and talented Foreign Service officers who are primarily alumni of the Thomas R. Pickering Foreign Affairs Fellowship and the Charles B. Rangel International Affairs Fellowship. The department recognized PERFA as an employee affinity group in April 2020. Our objectives are to advocate on behalf of members to senior leadership on diversity and inclusion issues, and create opportunities to support retention, recruitment, and morale-boosting efforts through networking, career development, and community service activities. PERFA has over 700 members serving with distinction at U.S. missions around the world. Next slide, please. After becoming an official EAG, PERFA met with Deputy Secretary Began to advocate for fostering diversity and inclusion within the department and explored ways to address systemic and persistent racial disparities. In 2020, PERFA has hosted several events for its members, including an information session on outside fellowship opportunities, an EER personal statement speed review, a virtual networking session to welcome new fellows, a virtual information session on mentoring and sponsorship co-hosted with AFA and Executive Women at State, a virtual information session co-hosted with HECFA on long-term trainings and details, and a host of brown bags on promotions, bidding, and crossing the senior threshold. Next slide, please. PERFA is committed to establishing an organizational culture where colleagues feel welcomed, heard, and confident in their contribution to our national security mission. The Pickering and Rangel Fellowship programs exist as the Department of State's most successful diversity recruitment tools. PERFA is the department's only internal organization dedicated to ensuring the department's significant investment in these programs and advancing the department's diversity and inclusion goals. We are also focused on developing and mentoring talented Foreign Service officers who represent the diversity of the United States and are ready to lead the department. Next slide. If you'd like to join PERFA or get in touch with our board, please email us at perfaboardmembers@state.gov. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Eisman, and I'm a co-chair of the Presidential Management Fellows Advisory Council, known as the PMFAC. The PMFAC represents current and former presidential management fellows and strives to foster essential relationships within the department and across the interagency, create developmental opportunities throughout the civil service, and provide a concrete resource through which the department can develop and retain talented, driven, hardworking, agile, and innovative public servants. We seek to establish a vibrant and active community through networking, information exchange, and professional development opportunities. We also play a leading role in the interagency PMF group, collaborating with PMFs at other departments and agencies, and PMFAC members regularly participate in representational events ranging from career panels to policy discussions. Next slide, please. We provide guidance and support to our members navigating the department, such as connecting senior level leadership, including PMF alumni, with current fellows for mentoring, as well as informing supervisors of current fellows about the program and opportunities. We liaise with the Secretary's Office of Civil Rights and the Bureau of Global Talent Management in order to expand the understanding of the PMF program as a resource for both individual offices and the department as a whole, and promote outreach with senior officials in the department. A highlight was having the Secretary speak at our most recent graduation ceremony pictured here. Next slide, please. We hope you will join us in making your PMFAC a gateway to expanded leadership development, networking opportunities, and community at state. Please get in touch with us at pmfadvisorycouncil@state.gov. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Peter Redmond. I serve as the president of the EAG that represents returned Peace Corps volunteers and staff at the department called, uncannily enough, Returned Peace Corps Volunteers at State, or RPCVs at State. We believe that Peace Corps volunteers and staff, with their exceptional language skills, cross-cultural competence, and overseas experience, make great candidates for jobs at the Department of State. We also know that the diversity of the pool of recent RPCVs, with more than 36% identifying as a member of a historically underrepresented group, makes it an especially great group from which to recruit. Our group assists the department by encouraging and promoting the hiring of returned Peace Corps volunteers and staff by understanding and using their non-competitive eligibility status to bring these great candidates on board quickly. Along with encouraging the hiring of our PCVs, we also build a sense of connection and community within our membership. We share career opportunities, and we provide career development and networking opportunities. This past year, we established the first year-long detail for a department employee to serve as a Peace Corps staff and act as an agency liaison and promoter of our PCV continuing service in their country. Last year, we invited the Peace Corps director to meet with our membership and to discuss the future of Peace Corps in this pantheon of America's diplomatic international development efforts. And we are looking forward to another meeting later this year with the Peace Corps director. In our next slide, you'll see that some of the things we've done include, like our fellow EAGs, promoting diversity, equity, inclusion efforts within the department, and our recent meeting with the Deputy Secretary, as well as with the House Foreign Affairs Committee staff members to talk more about diversity and inclusion. We hope you'll consider joining our PCVs at State and join us at one of our upcoming events.
Hello, my name is Moshain Ahmed, and I'm the president of the South Asian American Employee Association, known as SAIA. Founded in 2009, one of SAIA's primary objectives is to enhance the recruitment, retention, and promotion of South Asian Americans at the department. A second goal of ours is to raise awareness of the rich culture, as well as the dynamic policy issues that impact the region. We partner with South Asian embassies, as well as the Bureau of South and Central Asian Affairs, or SCA, to identify the most relevant topics accordingly. Next slide, please. SAIA has accomplished and continues to work on opportunities that encourage members to bring diversity of thought to the table via their cultural background or affinity for South Asia. We organize panels and cultural events such as SAIA's annual cultural celebration that represents all South Asian countries, their norms and traditions. This has been particularly useful for employees heading out to the region to get a glimpse of their new home. Our professional development events highlight senior State Department officials' personal journeys, as well as the issues that they work on. This exposes members for mentorship opportunities, as well as other foreign policy issues they could work on, whether it be from DC or in country. We also enjoy organizing recruitment events with universities and professional working groups to represent South Asian communities more. Next slide, please. SAIA wouldn't be effective, though, if we didn't work closely with the other EAGs. We have, for example, worked with AFA on highlighting events with senior leaders, Asian American Pacific Islander Month, as well as bidding and networking opportunities. SAIA is also exploring options to develop a mentorship and sponsorship program for our career advancement of members, and we have engaged with our fellow EAGs to further this effort. SAIA individually and in partnership with EAGs lead programs that advocate for policies to department leadership and Congress to ensure all levels of the department reflect the diversity of the United States. Next slide, please. SAIA is very excited to serve as a resource and advocate for all department employees. You don't need to be of South Asian descent. If you'd like to learn more, you're welcome to email us at saia@state.gov, and we look forward to having you join.
Hello, my name is Irvin Hicks, and I'm president of the Thursday Luncheon Group, also known as TLG. Our mission, as you'll note from the slide, focuses on recruitment, advancement, retention, and empowerment of African American officers, as well as other underrepresented groups, and that includes both foreign service and civil service. And I invite you to check out TLG at Thursday Luncheon Group, oneword.org, to learn about our history, our initiatives, and our membership. Next slide, please. So I'd like to cover for you just some of the recent successes that we've had, and starting with the joint effort with the TLG, EAG, and IFRA, where we submitted a series of reforms to the Deputy Secretary, which are now being either implemented or under review. We also participated, along with the other EAGs, as been noted, on the House Foreign Affairs Committee hearing on a lack of diversity at the Department of State, where we amplified the racial disparities and institutional barriers that are undermining the ability of our membership to rise to their full potential. As you see in the photo there, we hosted the Juneteenth ceremony, which was attended by the Deputy Secretary, DG, a number of regional bureau PDASs, as well as fellow EAGs. This was 8 minutes and 46 seconds in commemoration or recognition of a moment of silence over George Floyd's murder. We also had a very successful mock selection board for 20 Foreign Service officers. We're waiting for the IRS to review our application to become a nonprofit organization to accept donations, as well as to pursue grants. And we are very excited about the Commerce Department recently joining TLG as a member. So thank you for your time. And this next slide, please. And so as we enter our 48th year as an EAG in the department, we will continue to promote diversity and inclusion, but bolster our representation, leadership, and advancement, not only for African Americans, but all members of the department. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zachary Parker, and I'm the president of the Veterans at State Employee Affinity Group. The mission of the Veterans at State is to be a professional association that supports military veterans at the U.S. Department of State. Veterans at State serves as a link between military veterans and the department, with the department's diversity management program and with human resources staff and senior management. Next slide, please. Some of the Veterans at State accomplishment as an EAG from 2019 include we hosted a Veterans Speaker Series event with the Association of the United States Navy. We hosted a Veterans Speaker Series event with the United Investors Association. We co-hosted a joint event with the Combined Federal Campaign. We co-hosted a joint event with the Office of Civil Rights for Veterans Day, or what we call roll call, with the Secretary, Mike Pompeo. Veteran State members were invited to attend a White House Veterans Day event. Veteran State also hosted a joint mentoring event with the George Washington University for veteran students. The Veterans at State EAG strives to promote full and equal participation of the estimated 7,000 military veterans department-wide by providing a forum for information exchange, assisting in recruitment, retention, and promotion of military veterans, and developing the leadership abilities of military veterans at the State Department. Next slide, please. We also held an event to support retired State Department members, recognizing veterans from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Next slide, please. If you're interested in joining Veterans at State, please reach out to the board or send us an email at veteransatstate.gov. Thank you for your time.
We are so grateful for the employee affinity groups who positively contribute to the department diversity and inclusion. To learn more about employee affinity groups, email us at diversity@state.gov.